What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Tears Take. I am recapping the Real Housewives of Miami, Season 7, Episode 13. It's called Next Stop Marbella. And this episode was chaotic AF. Let me know your comments down below, your thoughts and your takeaways. I'm going to take you through scene by scene, or at least the main parts of the episode to give you my takes and my opinions, but I do want to hear from you. If you do like the content, please watch my other videos, share with a fellow Bravo lover, and please like and subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. All right, let's go ahead and jump in. So this episode starts, it is the morning of the Marbella trip. So this was the trip that takes 22 minutes to fly to. And this is the trip that Julia is hoping to meet with her friends and ask them to be the godparents of her new boys. So anyways, everyone's preparing, everyone's kind of gathering and getting ready to go on the plane. Kiki is serving yet again. Chef's kiss. She looks so chic, in the words of Dorit. Hey, girl. So chic. So, yes. She looks great. Okay, so, and shout out to Miss Lisa because she is on time. I try not to praise adults for doing adult things, but all right, Lisa, I see you. All right, so as the women are gathering, Julia shares that Alexia and Marysol are not coming, but she's not taking that to heart. You know, she only takes it to heart when someone can't make a Zoom meeting and then ask for the updates. And then she takes that to heart, but she doesn't take, a really important, meaningful trip and her friends backing out last minute. She doesn't take that to heart. So, just a little message there in the words of Danielle Staub. Okay, so we see Marysol talking about it, and Marysol says that it wasn't encouraging, that Stephanie was basically alluding to the fact that, she can leave people in Marbella if something pops off. And Alexia texts Stephanie basically that they're not going to go, and Stephanie's feelings are hurt. So Adriana gets on the Sprinter. They're all getting on the Sprinter to get to the plane. And Adriana says in a confessional that she called Kiki 3 times that night to try to apologize, try to talk things through, because we know the last episode before this, she had called her ratchet, or we'll talk more about it, but she called her ratchet. And they got into a heated exchange. So she wanted to call and smooth things over, and Kiki ignored her. And I said, good. Because if you want to call me a name in front of all these people on camera, then you can apologize in front of all these people and on camera. Don't sit up here and try to embarrass me, try to belittle me, try to demean me in public. And then in private, it's, oh, girl, I didn't mean it. Or, hey, girl, I'm sorry. No. I mean, the private apology and texts are nice, but you also need to rectify things the way you initially disrespected me. So I'm glad Kiki paid her dust. And sometimes it's best to do that when you're already mad and you just want to let things calm down a little bit before you engage again. So I appreciate that she did that. So on the way to the plane, Stephanie asked Julia about Marysol and Alexia, and Julia explains it. They felt like you were kind of dangling the plane and kind of toying with them almost. Hey, you can come, but I can take it away at any moment. So she explains, how they were really feeling, because in the text that Alexia sent Stephanie, Alexia didn't say that. She said, we just need a mental break. It's been a lot. We didn't get much rest last night. We're hoping to just kind of rest and restore today. So that's what Alexia told Stephanie. But Alexia and Marysol were more honest with Julia. And so when Stephanie checked in kind of hey, did they say anything to you? What's the real story here? Julia shared, that they just didn't feel comfortable with the uncertainty of the plane situation. And so instead of just leaving it there, Julia kind of throws in some extraness and was like, well, you are bossy. You were really bossy about the plane. And Stephanie's hurt, and she retaliates by saying, well, I'm not that bossy. I'm not that bad because you're getting on my plane now. And it's ugh, Stephanie, we get it. We know we're going on your plane. I cannot stand people who want to constantly throw in your face what they do for you, what they have done for you. That's why I don't ask people for anything. It is so hard for me to ask people for anything because you're never going to put me in that position of, well, I did do this. Well, I could take that away. No, I will do it myself. I will figure it out. I will make a way. I will save my money to do whatever. I will. No, I cannot stand it. There are far too many people who do that, and no one's going to hold anything over my head or throw something back in my face. Well, you did it. Nope. And if I ever do put myself in that position, in the back of my head, I'm prepared to pay that person back. Like if someone says, I don't know, if for whatever reason someone, I don't know, paid for my dinner and my dinner was $80. If someone ever says, well, I paid for you for that dinner last week, let me Venmo you $80. Let me Venmo you $85 so you can get out my face for the rest of my life. Because we're not doing this. I cannot stand that. Let me know down below if you feel me on that. Let me know down below if you feel me on that. Okay. So Stephanie's like, oh, well, I can't be that bad because you're getting on my plane now. You're about to get on my plane. And Julia says in a confessional, you can't offer something and then point it out that you're offering it. And I'm like, okay, that's the first time Julia made sense in this whole season. All right, so, Stephanie's upset. She's patting her eyes, blah, blah, blah. Larsa actually sticks up for Stephanie, and she's just basically telling them, like, to be appreciative. She's like, man, she's damned if she does share. She's damned if she doesn't share. Like just be appreciative and, like, be kind about it. Here goes Larsa making sense again. So then we jump back and forth between the two groups. So we jump back and forth with the girls getting on the plane, and they're dancing. They're just living it up, having fun. And then we see Marysol and Alexia in their very, like, calm, quiet environment. Just both of them on their phones, which actually both experiences are fine with me because, yeah, I can be on a plane. I've never been on, like, a private plane, but, like, yeah, I can turn up, have fun, whatever. But it's also really fun to be with, like, your best friend or your significant other and just be right by each other doing your own thing. And it's like your own weird way of spending quality time, but yet you're still kind of like pouring into yourself or just getting things done. And it's the best. So I can do either one. I'm here for both. But it was funny to see in the juxtaposition of, like, them living it up, strobe lights, all the things, and then them just, like, quietly, like, on their phones. Fine. And as the jet party is winding down, obviously they were having fun. It seems like the energy got really turned around. Stephanie brings the mood down by pointing out to Julia that Alexia and Marysol cared more about, dissing Stephanie than supporting Julia. And it was just like, girl, you made such a big thing last episode of, I don't know what Lisa's going to do in this plane. I don't want anybody causing drama. I don't want any bad energy. You guys can't even go to dinner without having issues. Oh my gosh, the drama. Oh, I'm upset. She takes all these moments to point out that this group is just full of drama, and she just wants to have these great experiences. And when the group is having a great experience, you brought the drama. You brought the mood down by, let me just say, like, they're not here to support you. They just want to hurt me. And it's like, they don't want to hurt you. They just don't want to be around that. So, like, you like brought the drama, essentially, Stephanie. So they land and they go to Villa Moana, and Lisa and Gertie point out all the White Lotus vibes. I was dying with Lisa in the confessional talking about Jennifer Coolidge's character. Like, the gays are trying to kill me. Oh my God, I loved her. I love Jennifer Coolidge, but I loved her White Lotus, and I'm so mad she's not on there anymore. Spoiler alert. Okay, so la, 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 la. So we meet Julia's friend Derek, and they all sit down. That food, first of all, like the villa looks gorgeous. The food there, I was like salivating. Just the spread was impeccable. And so they sit down to eat, and so Derek sits down and he's just like, "Hey, what's going on, ladies? Like, tell me what's going on. Like, what's happening?" And here goes Lisa. She shares that she's officially divorced, and it's like, hallelujah, Jesus. And the girls like cheer and clink glasses, except for Lisa. Lisa's just in the corner and she's just kind of like, "So what?" And I'm like, "Girl, Lisa can't do anything right by Lisa. Lisa can't do anything right in Larsa's eyes at this point." It was kind of an awkward moment because, but it's Lisa, so whatever. Alexia and Marysol go to get coffee, and they're just glad to be alone. Back in Marbella, like I said, they're having this feast, and Lisa is talking a lot. Lisa clearly hasn't been in these spaces before, and it's kind of like, and even if you haven't been there, the protocol is usually like, act like you've been here before, act like you've been somewhere before, right? And Lisa is so it's just giving very new money. It's like, "Oh, this is fancy. Oh, this is expensive. Oh my gosh, I want friends like this." I like, it's just, girl, act like you've been here before, right? Larsa says that she's embarrassing. um and then when there's a moment of Lisa not talking, Julia asks her friend. It's kind of weird that she asked her friend in front of all of the group, but I mean, I guess. But Julia asked her friend if he and his partner would be godfathers of the boys, and he accepts. And Adriana is like, says in a confessional, she's upset that she was not considered and that she wasn't asked. And that's weird because it's kind of like, I get it, maybe based on like the history, but if y'all are not close anymore, why would she ask you? So then, the group kind of splits off. Adriana talks to Lisa, about the fight that she got in with Kiki. And she's telling Lisa that she meant to say wretched, not ratchet. And Lisa gives her the benefit of the doubt, of course. People love forgiving people on behalf of the offended person. Okay, that's cute, Lisa, that you want to give her the benefit of the doubt, but we all heard what she said. That's number one. Number two, Adriana is very smart. Number three, Kiki repeated it back. She was like, "Ratchet?" She said, "You're the most ratchet of us all." And so in that instance, wouldn't someone say, "No, I didn't say ratchet. I said wretched. I meant to say wretched." Wouldn't you kind of correct yourself or just clarify what you were saying in that moment? She didn't do that. So y'all can spare me with this. So in another part of the villa, we see Julia talking to Derek, and she is updating him on, just how her girls are still not really talking to her and Martina because Julia never really told them that they were adopting the boys. And, he's just trying to comfort her and trying to tell her, give it time. She asked him, like, "Oh, can you call them for me?" Girl, what? They're your kids. If they're not listening to you, do you think they're going to listen to some random guy? I mean, yeah, they know him and are familiar with him, and maybe they even love him. Maybe they're close with him, but they're not listening to you. You think they're going to listen to him and just all of a sudden just turn things around? No. And Julia, I I really feel bad for these boys because I've already talked about. I really feel bad for these boys because I already talked about how self-involved Julia is. And then we get a taste of like Martina because as Julia is saying, I'm missing out on these times with my girls. I miss them. I haven't talked to them. she mentions that Martina had mentioned, Martina said, well, what if my cancer comes back and the girls are going to be really sad then? They're going to feel bad that they treated us this way. What? That's weirdo behavior. I think you both are severely self-absorbed and like don't play victim now. You were big and bad and changed up the family and didn't care to consider their thoughts and feelings and didn't care to include them. So when they respond to your weirdo behavior, don't be aghast at the response. That's their response. And they can, as time goes by, they can kind of get over it and deal with it, and maybe they'll be really accepting. But let them feel how they feel right now based on what you did. And all this weird talk of, oh, my cancer might come back and they'll be upset then. What? I feel bad for these boys. So the girls are back and they're all glamming for Stephanie's birthday. They're wearing their flamenco dresses. And when they start gathering, Marysol changes her story when she sees Stephanie. And she says, oh, I just wanted to be with Alexia for the day. And I'm like, ugh. People like that are so, I don't know. It has to be exhausting to just always lie and have these random excuses. And it's like, do you not think it's going to get back to Stephanie that you told half the group this, you texted her this, now you're saying a third story? Say it with your chest, whatever it is. I didn't want to go because I didn't want to be stranded in Marbella, and I didn't care enough to go and I didn't care enough to organize my own transportation. So I just stayed at the hotel. That's fine. I think that's fine. You can only respect the truth, whether or not your feelings are hurt or whatever, but at least it's the truth. But, oh, I don't like the plane situation. Oh, I'm just so tired and exhausted. I didn't sleep last night. Oh, I just want to be with Alexia. She's going through a hard time. I just want to be with Alexia. Stupid. Pick a story and stick with it. So they all take they all take horse carriages to Plaza España, and there they have Marysol and maybe Julia had scheduled singers to sing happy birthday to Stephanie, and it was really pretty. It was really nice. Stephanie approaches Alexia about not going on the Marbella trip the day before, and Alexia says that she wanted to be with Marysol and wanted to decompress. So then they start arguing about whether Marysol should be in the conversation. And, things kind of popped off because, when Stephanie was talking, Alexia tried to jump in, and Stephanie was like, wait, hold on, let me talk. And then Alexia gets offended. Oh, you're so condescending. You're so kind of, I'm like, oh God. From here on out, this episode is like pew, 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 pew. It was a lot going on. I rewound it and rewound it. Rewound? Yeah, rewound, right? Not rewinded. Yeah, rewound. I kept rewinding because I was like, wait, what? Wait, who said this? Wait, what? So I'm going to do my best, child. But anyway, that's the gist of how things popped off with Stephanie and, what's that girl's name? Alexia. And Stephanie tells Alexia that she disguises herself as a friend, but stabs her in the back. And I'm like, girl, this is a lot. First of all, y'all just made up, an episode ago? So just you disguise as a friend and you stabbed me in the back. That's a bit dramatic, I think. Y'all just got cool about 24 hours ago. Okay, let's keep things in perspective here. Basically, Stephanie's just butthurt that Marysol and Alexia felt some type of way about Stephanie dangling the plane in front of the girls and having the power to take it away at any moment. And then Stephanie lies and says, I never said I would leave anyone. I never said I would leave someone there. Child, roll the footage. Roll the footage. So Alexia walks away and Stephanie walks with her back to the group. And Stephanie tells Lisa that Alexia didn't want her on the plane. And I'm like, huh? So then Lisa asks, and Alexia stands up for herself. She's like, no, that's not true. That wasn't me. That was Larsa. Like, what are you talking about? That was Larsa and Stephanie. So then Lisa asks the group, like, well, who wanted me to like not be part of the plane ride? Like, who didn't want me on the plane ride? And so Alexia clarifies again, it was Larsa and Stephanie. And Stephanie is like still with a dog with a bone on this. And she just wants Marysol and Alexia to just be honest and straightforward as to why they didn't ride on the plane. Why didn't they go on the trip? And they finally tell her, like, girl, we don't owe you an explanation. Hey, and that works too. You don't. I'm not coming, period. You told the host, done. And so, again, all these like changing explanations, you don't even need to give her one. I agree with that. So they told her, like, pipe down. We don't even owe you an explanation. Like, we said what we said. Chill out. So Kiki's watching this and she says, now this is ratchet. I said, exactly. Where's all the disgust and the outrage and the clutch pearls? Oh, okay. It's okay if they act a fool in public. God forbid, Kiki raises her voice or Gertie, gets upset or acts extra. Got it. So they're preparing to go back to the hotel and the group kind of breaks apart again. Stephanie says in a confessional that this fight is triggering because it reminds her of her sisters. Stephanie says in a confessional that, fighting with Marysol and Alexia is triggering because it reminds her of her sisters, and I guess like the dynamic of how they fight or how they argue and how she feels misunderstood. And someone on Blue Sky posted a really good point that Stephanie kept calling Marysol and Alexia twins. Like, you're like, you can be here without your twin, or I can only look at one twin at a time. If you guys are separate, I can't look at you guys. Like, she referenced them as twins a few times, and she has twin sisters, and those are the twin sisters that she fell out with. And so it is like projection at its finest, that you are getting triggered, you're getting flashbacks of fighting with your sisters, and you're actually projecting onto Marysol and Alexia, like, oh, you stabbed me in the back. Like, all this like extra emotion that you're feeling with them, that I think is kind of strange because, like I said, you just made up with Alexia yesterday. So all of these extra emotions and all the passion behind the arguments, it's really what you want to say to your sisters. It's really, you're really fighting in your mind with your sisters, because I'm sorry, the relationship's not there yet with Alexia and Marysol for you to be this hyped, to be, why didn't you come? Just give me a straight answer. Blah, 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 blah. You're disguising as a friend. Blah, blah, blah. Like, so I thought that was a really good point. And Stephanie, girl, you might need to talk to someone about that. All right, so Stephanie, Kiki, Gertie, and Adriana talk, and Kiki points out to Adriana, and Kiki tells Stephanie, if Adriana and I can get on the plane without an issue, I don't see why other women were having so much problems about getting on the plane and who's going to be there and who's not. And, as she's kind of explaining that, Adriana jumps in and she apologizes to Kiki. Kiki accepts, and she actually apologizes to Adriana for calling her old. And, fine, I'm glad that's squashed. But Adriana, you lost so many points with me. I don't believe what you meant this word and didn't. I don't believe that. I'm sorry. I don't. So, Adriana, I still got my eye on you. So then the ladies get back to the hotel, and Marysol is shaken up. Oh, the fragility. She's shaken up, saying the day was terrible. It was a lot of yelling. Like I said, it was hard to decipher what was happening and who was saying what, and wait, how did this pop off? And it was hard. But Marysol's shaken that the day was so terrible. The girls split up. Stephanie tells Larsa that, all this time she thought the problem was Alexia, but maybe, just maybe, the problem's Marysol. So now she has her sights kind of set on Marysol. And Alexia, Julia, and Lisa talk about the day, but then they're on a rooftop and they get interrupted by, they smell smoke and they hear, some commotion, and they look over the roof, and down below on the street there's actually a funeral procession. And so they kind of just take it as a sign. And it was weird because they were kind of like, oh, thank you, God, like thank you for like this beautiful sign, and like we're just so grateful. And I'm like, someone died. I don't know, maybe, whatever, everyone's a different, has different beliefs, and um whatever. But they were like, oh, this is a beautiful sign. I'm like, is it? Like, it's a dead body, like carried through the street. But so they kind of took that as a sign to just kind of like put things in perspective. Maybe that's what it was. Like that things aren't that deep because like at least they're not dead. So they put things in perspective and just kind of tune down, the temperature on things. And then separately, Larsa and Stephanie see the procession as well from where they are. And they were like, oh, let's do a prayer. And they just did some like goofy prayer. And child, that was it. So, like I said, this was a very chaotic episode. We had horse-drawn carriages, we had serenades, we had funerals, we had arguing, we had makeups, we had breakups. There was a lot going on. So that was the end. Those were the highlights of the episode. I want to hear from you. What stood out to you? What did I miss? What were your favorite parts? Let me know below. And remember to like and subscribe. I'll see y'all in the next video. Mwah. Bye.